1010 students. It's Mr. C, and today we're going to be talking about schools as a socializing agent. Um, this was a really discussion heavy course, and so for you that are online, I'm going to give you a little bit more reading and the opportunity to discuss it online as opposed to being face to face with us. So, first, as we think about schools as a socializing agent, we have to first think, what does it mean to be socialized? And you probably have some sense of what that means, to be social. I looked it up with just a Google search, and the dictionary definition was having been made to behave in a way that's accepted in a particular society. And so, if we think about how we're socialized in schools, what might be socially acceptable in a school here in Utah, in southern Utah, might be different than what's socially acceptable in a school in London or in India or in New York City. And so, how you're socialized and the role the school plays in that is determined by the culture of the environment you're in. And so, that's a really important thing to consider when we think about socializing our students, especially if we're in an area that is less familiar to us, or if we have students who are new to our area. There might be some conflicts with how we're socializing because it goes against what we're used to or what is expected. All right. So I did a think, pair, share. You can't see my picture here. In class, we do an activity where we think by ourselves first, and then we pair up, and then we get and we share it to the whole class where I call on different people. Obviously, we're not going to do that activity here online, but the question's an important one. What social skills can be learned at school? So that's something that I'll put in the discussion board that you can comment on and share different social skills. Now, that discussion board will be optional. We're going to do a reading quiz here in a minute, or a reading reflection, but I want you to think about this. What are skills that can be learned at school? Maybe you're thinking about getting along with others, or doing things to make one person happy, maybe even if it doesn't make you happy, like a teacher asks you to do something. Maybe it's working in groups, even though one person does most of the work, but everyone gets the same grade, and how to navigate that. So we're learning how to get along with others, how to stand up for ourselves. Um, and this is really great thing to do in schools because it does prepare you for the real world. I thought of an example of someone I know who worked really, really hard at their job and did an exceptional job. And the result was their boss took all the credit and got a promotion, while this person actually got fired. And that's an extreme example, but that's way better than what we're doing in group work in the class, right? Where, darn it, that we wish this was equitable. But what you can learn in schools is how to stand up for yourselves, how to make sure you get credit if you deserve it, or if you don't care who gets the credit, how to make sure that everyone succeeds, and how we can collaborate effectively. And so there's a lot that you can do with that, in a situation like that. Now, other social skills that we might learn might have to do with etiquette, just being polite, being kind. It might have to do with leadership. We learn different leadership skills at school. So consider those different things. And if you want to add to the list, I'll create a discussion prompt online. Now, we did do an activity in class. So those of you who are face to face, I just gave this PBIS article about social skills you can develop. For those of you who are online, I actually got a bunch of different articles from online, and I put them all together in this short article. So this is just, it's 4 different short articles put together. So we have this one by Greenberg and Costigan on can learning social skills on school pay off beyond the classroom, and it brings in some nice research and shows how there are some nice benefits there. The importance of teaching social skills. This is what we did in the face-to-face class as we discussed this together. So you can read through that, and it just has actually a little bit of overlap with the first article. Then this is interesting, why social skills are the key to learning. And this is looking specifically at kindergartners and preschoolers, why it's important to start with social skills for those kids, like even before they start reading and doing math. And so that's just a nice short little article. And then another related one, social skills kids need to succeed. So in looking at some specific things, what we do now, these are all super short and big text, so that to read all this entire 8-page document, it's really only going to take 10 to 15 minutes. And so for those of you who are online, I will set up a reading reflection where you can talk about some of the things that you've learned uh, in these articles. What are the main takeaways? What are social skills that we can be teaching to our students, whether it's implicitly or explicitly? And then I want you to think about your own experiences. What are the lessons that you learned, maybe in the classroom or in the school, or just by being part of a school, that have made your life better? I talked to my children about that this morning as we were driving to school, and my son, he's awesome. He's like, well, I don't know if this is really school, but at cross country, and I stopped and I'm like, yeah, cross country is part of school because it's an extracurricular and it wouldn't exist if we didn't have schools. Well, he's like, okay, in cross country, we learned that it's okay to fail, but that you just keep working hard. And I recently interviewed a collegiate cross country runner, and she said the same thing, that the biggest thing for success in cross country is consistency, being able to put in the miles day after day, and being smart about it so you don't get injured. But that consistency is important. And my son has a race today, and he's hoping to run the fastest he's ever run to get a personal best. But statistics tell us that he probably won't. Well, by seeking to do his best and by having that goal and by continually working, even if he fails, he's progressing. And that's a really cool lesson that he's learned at this extracurricular from school. My daughter, who's also in the high school, she said, well, one of the things that I've learned at school is similar. Again, it has to do with failure. And I don't know if we just need to teach more failure in schools. But my daughter said, I auditioned for a bunch of different things this year and I didn't get into any of them. And she was a little frustrated with that. But the lesson she learned, again, was with consistency. She's like, I know that if I keep working at it, eventually I'll make it. And she was thinking about that because her older brother just yesterday found out that he made the top band. And is something that he auditioned for last year and didn't get into, and then he auditioned this year and did, and that was encouraging to her. And so even though she didn't experience the success yet, she's starting to learn the lesson that if we keep trying and work on improvement, then we can accomplish our goals. And that's a great lesson. So I want you to consider some of the lessons that you've learned while you've been in school, whether that's in elementary school or high school or what you're learning now in college. What are some of those lessons that you've learned that maybe your teachers didn't plan on teaching you, but just by being involved in schools, by being there, you've learned those lessons? So that's going to be one of the discussion prompts, and I'll put that up in Canvas. And then just a reminder that the purpose paper is due soon. So I'll have that up with the deadlines up in Canvas as well. Well, that's what we've done for today. Just talking about social skills. A lot of this lesson will be learned independently, so not a lot of lecture here, but I want you to read other people's experiences here in this reading and then comment on the discussion board. All right, cool. Thanks. Bye-bye.